Thinking about moving to a new city in 2025? You might want to check your budget first. While some places are becoming more affordable, others are reaching record-breaking levels when it comes to housing, food, transportation, and everyday expenses. In this video, we're breaking down the 10 cities with the highest cost of living in 2025. From sky-high rents to $6 coffee, these cities are beautiful, exciting, and brutally expensive. Whether you're curious about where your city ranks or planning a move, this list will help you understand what it really costs to live in America's priciest places. Let's dive in and prepare for some serious sticker shock. Number 10. Seattle, Washington. It has long been known as a hub of innovation, tech jobs, and natural beauty, but in 2025, it's also one of the most expensive places to live in the United States. The cost of housing remains the city's biggest issue. The median home price now exceeds $900,000, and even a modest one-bedroom apartment rents for over $2,400 a month. With limited housing supply and continued demand from high-earning tech professionals, prices have remained stubbornly high, even as other cities have seen slight drops. But housing isn't the only factor driving up Seattle's cost of living. Utilities, groceries, and transportation are all significantly above the national average. Everyday expenses like gas and food are affected by the city's geographic location and its growing population, which puts more strain on infrastructure and services. For example, grocery prices are roughly 28% higher than the U.S. average, and dining out has become a luxury for many Middle East residents. Even public transit costs have crept up, despite Seattle's investments in expanding light rail and bus services. Despite the high costs, people continue to flock to Seattle for its job market, especially in industries like tech, biotech, and clean energy. Companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Boeing anchor the local economy, offering competitive salaries, but even those aren't always enough to outpace the rising cost of living. For those considering a move, Seattle offers a beautiful urban lifestyle surrounded by mountains and water, but it's one that comes at a premium. Number 9. Boston, Massachusetts. It continues to be one of the most expensive cities in the U.S. in 2025, driven largely by sky-high housing costs and a competitive job market. The median home price in the Boston metro area now surpasses $750,000, and rent for a one-bedroom apartment averages around $2,800 per month. Limited housing inventory, strong demand from students and professionals, and ongoing gentrification in surrounding neighborhoods have all contributed to the city's rising prices. For many, homeownership remains out of reach, even with a solid income. Beyond housing, Boston's overall cost of living is steep. Healthcare expenses are among the highest in the country, and transportation isn't much cheaper. While the city does have a decent public transit system in the MBTA, monthly passes and car ownership costs remain well above the national average. Groceries and dining out are also expensive, partly due to supply costs and the city's relatively high minimum wage, which translates into higher service prices for consumers. Despite these financial pressures, Boston continues to attract residents for its excellent healthcare facilities, top-ranked universities, and abundant job opportunities in sectors like education, biotech, and finance. The city's cultural scene, walkability, and historic charm add to its appeal. But for those considering a move to Boston in 2025, it's important to weigh those benefits against the reality of living in one of America's priciest urban centers. Number 8. Honolulu, Hawaii. It is often described as paradise, and in many ways it is. But in 2025, that paradise comes with one of the highest price tags in the United States. The city's isolation in the Pacific Ocean means almost everything from groceries to construction materials must be imported, significantly driving up costs. Housing in particular remains a major financial burden. The median home price in Honolulu is now well above $850,000, while the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment sits around $2,600 $600 per month, making it difficult for many working families to remain in the city. Daily living expenses in Honolulu consistently rank far above the national average. Groceries are about 50% more expensive due to shipping and supply chain issues. And utility bills are also high because most energy comes from imported fuel, despite recent investments in solar and wind power. Transportation isn't much easier. Cars are expensive to maintain, and fuel prices are among the highest in the nation. Even dining out or buying basic household goods can strain the average budget, especially when tourism fluctuations impact the local economy. Despite these challenges, many people still dream of living in Honolulu thanks to its stunning beaches, laid-back lifestyle, and vibrant cultural scene. For those with remote work flexibility or high incomes, the lifestyle can be worth the extra expense. However, for most locals, the rising cost of living has created increasing pressure, pushing some long-time residents to relocate to more affordable areas either within the state or on the mainland. Honolulu remains a breathtaking place to live, but it's definitely one of the most financially demanding cities in America today. Number 7. Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, remains one of the most expensive cities in the U.S. in 2025, thanks to a combination of high housing prices, steep taxes, and elevated costs for transportation and services. The average rent for a two-bedroom apartment is over $2,800 per month, and even modest homes in the D.C. metro area frequently top $700,000. While the job market is robust, particularly in government, law, lobbying, and tech, the high wages are often offset by the cost of simply living in the district. Transportation also adds to the financial strain. While D.C. does have a reliable metro system, monthly passes have become more expensive, and the cost of car ownership, including parking, gas, and insurance, is far above the national average. Despite this problem, the general groceries and dining are also costly, with restaurants charging premium prices due to high commercial rents and rising labor costs. Add in D.C.'s relatively high income and sales taxes, and the cumulative financial burden for residents becomes even more substantial. Still, Washington, D.C. offers lifestyle perks that continue to draw people in. The city is rich in history, culture, and diversity, with world-class museums, monuments, and public spaces, many of which are free to access. It's also a highly walkable city, with a vibrant social and professional scene. For those who can afford it, D.C. offers prestige, opportunity, and convenience. But for the average earner, living comfortably in the capital often means making significant financial sacrifices or moving to nearby suburbs in Maryland or Virginia. Number 6. San Diego, California. San Diego, California is known for its idyllic climate, scenic coastline, and relaxed lifestyle. But in 2025, it's also one of the most expensive cities to live in the U.S. The real estate market remains extremely competitive, with the median home price now topping $950,000. Even renting is far from affordable, as one-bedroom apartments commonly go for $2,600 or more. Limited housing supply, strong demand from both locals and out-of-state buyers, and strict zoning laws have all contributed to soaring prices across the region. Beyond housing, San Diego residents face high costs in almost every other aspect of daily life. Groceries and gas prices are well above the national average, and dining out or using services like childcare can quickly eat into a household's budget. Utility costs, while slightly lower than some other California cities, are still elevated due to climate demands and infrastructure costs. Public transportation options are improving, but many residents still rely on personal vehicles, adding additional monthly expenses for fuel, insurance, and parking. Despite the costs, San Diego continues to attract people for its high quality of life. The city offers beautiful beaches, a vibrant downtown, and access to major employers in biotech, healthcare, military, and education. Outdoor enthusiasts also appreciate the year-round sunshine and proximity to parks, trails, and the Pacific Ocean. However, the high cost of living forces many working and middle-class families to make difficult choices or to consider more affordable suburbs and exurbs further inland. Number 5. Oakland, California. Oakland, California ranks among the most expensive cities in 2025, fueled by its location in the Bay Area and its close proximity to San Francisco. While it was once considered a more affordable alternative to its famous neighbor, those days are largely over. The median home price in Oakland now exceeds $900,000. As the tech boom expanded across the Bay, Oakland's real estate market surged, pricing out many longtime residents and dramatically changing the cost landscape. In addition to high housing costs, Oakland residents face elevated prices for everyday expenses. Groceries, healthcare, and utilities are all well above the national average. Transportation adds another layer of expense, especially for those commuting into San Francisco or Silicon Valley. Gas prices are among the highest in the country, and while BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, provides access to the broader region, monthly passes and parking can still be costly. Dining, entertainment, and even basic services come with a premium price tag, reflecting both high demand and high operating costs for local businesses. Despite these financial pressures, Oakland remains an attractive place to live for many. Its cultural diversity, arts scene, and unique neighborhoods offer a vibrant alternative to San Francisco's polished tech culture. The city also boasts beautiful parks, access to the East Bay Hills, and a strong sense of community. But affordability continues to erode, and residents increasingly feel the squeeze as costs rise faster than wages. For many, the question in 2025 isn't whether Oakland is worth living in, but whether it's still possible to afford it. Number 4. Los Angeles, California. It remains one of the most iconic and expensive cities in the U.S. in 2025. With its vast entertainment industry, thriving economy, and year-round sunshine, LA continues to draw newcomers from around the world. But living here comes at a serious cost. The median home price across the city now surpasses $1 million, and the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is over $2,800. Even in traditionally lower-cost neighborhoods, gentrification and rising demand have pushed prices to record highs. The high cost of living in Los Angeles isn't limited to housing. Transportation is a major financial burden for many residents, as the city's sprawling layout and notorious traffic make car ownership a necessity for most. Gas prices, insurance premiums, and parking fees all add up quickly. Meanwhile, groceries, healthcare, and utilities are also significantly above the national average. Dining out, fitness memberships, and childcare in LA are among the most expensive in the country, making it difficult for middle-class families to get by without dual incomes. Still, Los Angeles offers unique benefits that continue to justify the cost for some. It's the heart of the film and television world, home to leading universities, and full of cultural landmarks, world-class restaurants, and scenic beaches. For high earners in entertainment, tech, or business, LA remains an attractive place to live, but for many others, the dream of making it in Los Angeles has become financially out of reach, pushing people further into suburbs or out of the region entirely. Number 3. San Jose, California. The heart of Silicon Valley continues to be one of the most expensive cities in the U.S. in 2025. Fueled by the tech industry's massive growth and concentration of wealth, housing costs in San Jose have skyrocketed, with median home prices exceeding $1,100,000. Renters face similarly steep prices, with one-bedroom apartments averaging over $3,000 per month. Limited land availability and zoning restrictions have constrained new housing development, pushing prices even higher as demand continues to outpace supply. Beyond housing, the cost of living in San Jose is significantly elevated across the board. Groceries, healthcare, and utilities all run well above the national average, reflecting the city's overall high income levels and cost structure. Transportation costs are also substantial, with many residents commuting to neighboring cities like Palo Alto and Mountain View. Fuel prices, car insurance, and parking fees further add to the financial burden. Despite investments in public transit, most residents still rely heavily on personal vehicles to navigate the sprawling Silicon Valley area. Despite these challenges, San Jose remains a global innovation hub, attracting skilled workers from around the world. Its vibrant economy, top-tier educational institutions, and access to cutting-edge technology firms make it a highly desirable place to live and work. However, the high cost of living means that many workers find it difficult to afford comfortable housing without significant income. As a result, some residents are increasingly choosing to live further away, in more affordable communities, or seeking remote work opportunities to offset the expenses. Number 2, San Francisco, California. It remains one of the most notoriously expensive cities in the United States in 2025. The city's limited space, strict zoning laws, and overwhelming demand for housing have driven median home prices well beyond $1,400,000, while renting a one-bedroom apartment typically costs over $3,200 per month. Even with high salaries from the booming tech sector, many residents find themselves priced out of home ownership and forced to make tough choices about where and how to live. The high cost of living in San Francisco extends beyond housing. Groceries, healthcare, and transportation are all considerably more expensive than the national average. Dining out and entertainment come with a hefty price tag, especially in popular neighborhoods like the Mission District and Soma. Despite having a relatively comprehensive public transportation system with Muni and BART, many residents still face long commutes and high costs related to transit passes, parking, and car ownership. Despite these challenges, San Francisco's unique culture, innovation, and economic opportunities continue to attract people from around the world. It's a city known for its diversity, historic landmarks, and vibrant art scene. However, the ever-rising costs mean that, in 2025, San Francisco remains a city where only the wealthy can truly afford to live comfortably, pushing many to seek more affordable alternatives in nearby cities or suburbs. Number 1. New York City, New York. It holds the top spot as the most expensive city to live in the United States in 2025. With its iconic skyline, endless job opportunities, and vibrant culture, NYC continues to attract millions despite sky-high living costs. The median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan now exceeds $4,000 per month, and purchasing a home often requires a multi-million-dollar budget. Even boroughs like Brooklyn and Queens have seen skyrocketing prices, making affordable housing nearly impossible for many residents. Beyond housing, the cost of living in New York City is driven up by expensive transportation, healthcare, and everyday expenses. Monthly Metro card fares, dining out, and grocery bills are all significantly above the national average. Taxes, including city income and property taxes, add another layer of financial pressure. Despite high salaries in finance, media, tech, and other industries, many New Yorkers feel the pinch as costs continue to rise faster than wages. Still, the city's unmatched energy, cultural diversity, and career opportunities keep people coming. From world-class theaters and museums to sprawling parks and diverse neighborhoods, New York offers a lifestyle that's hard to match anywhere else. But for the average person, living comfortably in NYC requires careful budgeting, compromises, or living farther out in the suburbs with longer commutes. It's a city of dreams, but those dreams come with a steep price. Conclusion? As we've seen, the cities with the highest cost of living in 2025 aren't just expensive, they're in a league of their own when it comes to housing, transportation, and everyday expenses. From New York's bustling streets to the tech hubs of California, living in these cities requires a strong financial footing and smart budgeting. While these places offer incredible opportunities, culture, and lifestyle, the price tag is higher than ever. If you're considering moving to one of these cities, it's important to weigh the benefits against the costs and plan accordingly. Or, if affordability is your priority, it might be worth exploring nearby suburbs or smaller cities that offer a more balanced cost of living. We hope this video gave you a clearer picture of what to expect in 2025. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this guide, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more content on living, real estate, and city life, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Let us know in the comments which city surprised you the most, or if there's a city you'd like us to cover next.